Hello and welcome to Astro Mingle, the spiritual podcast that mingles with the talented lightworkers and innovative influencers of our time. We're so glad to welcome back tonight Alison Elsberry. Alison is a guide for new earth souls and creator of the Divine Motherhood movement. She helps parents, educators, and caregivers recognize a child's unique quirks and sensitivities as clues to their most meaningful gifts. With over 20 years as a pediatric occupation therapist and intuitive healer, Alison now channels Mother Mary to support spiritually gifted children and the adults who love them. Today, she's bringing us Mother Mary's messages about reconnecting with present moment awareness, our bodies, and the natural world. And here's the wonderful part. While these insights speak to what our babies and children need, they're equally powerful for those of us who are dealing with our own overwhelm or healing our own inner child. Please welcome tonight, Step 11 Gemini, Alison Elsberry.
Hi.
Feels like a miracle to have you on here.
In a lot of ways.
Anyways, it's really nice. We thank both of you for coming and being part of the show again. It's nice. It's been an interesting time on Earth, I'd say, in the last year or so. I'm very curious to kind of hear what we hear. You were actually a guest here about a year ago. And, apparently, I have found this out too, that we heard that you had really touched many of our viewers who had watched the show. And they reached out to you afterwards, you said, and they want to share their stories and let you know how healing it was to watch and listen to the show. And so we're happy to have you back, and we're, looking forward to what happens next. For the listeners who may not have heard your previous episode or seen it, can you share how you first connected with Mother Mary and what the experience was for you?
But in this incarnation?
Yeah. One lifetime.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
It's a fair joke. Yeah. I think the audience can handle this one right now.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I mean, it's actually really hard to describe in words because it's more of a feeling than anything else.
Yeah.
But my first conscious connection with her was from the moment I was born. Her being so present and just being available to really support me in the non-physical way that she could. So kind of like a spiritual guide and such a comfort to me as a child. And I have lots of memories of being outside and playing with her and just sharing in conversation. I actually saw her like I see you right now, very, very solid. Like she didn't appear to me to be separate from any other family member. So
interesting.
And so it was really interesting to navigate that experience as I got older and really feel like, oh, actually other people aren't seeing what I'm seeing, and other people, don't realize that I'm actually really seeing someone else here.
Her cute, invisible friend,
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a shock to your mouth, out of your mouth, the kids, like, it's Mother Mary, Jesus' mom.
Yeah.
Wow. So what does it mean to channel Mother Mary? How do you personally experience that, the actual experience itself with communication? You say it's a feeling. Is it accompanied by words? Does your imagination draw pictures? What else happens in that experience?
Yeah. So for me, it doesn't even feel like I'm channeling her. It feels like I'm broadcasting and transmitting her frequency because I'm being willing to embody that fractal of my own truth. So that experience can also come through words. And oftentimes transmissions come in written format, and then I'll record them in audios as well. And they're interwoven into other offerings. But it's more of a living and a way of being is what it feels like. My relationship with her isn't ever separate. It's not something I turn on or turn off like a radio station or a light switch. It's there because it's infinite, it's intimate, it's eternal.
So, I mean, I guess you just get used to having her everywhere.
Well,
take a shower, I imagine
Mm-hmm.
she's quiet in those moments, or you don't think about it, or there must be moments when you've just been like, oh, yeah, just there's no privacy, right? Like, not that she would
It's
intrude, but there isn't.
it's a presence.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It's a holy, divine, and sacred presence
Mm,
that is constant
yeah.
and everlasting that brings me tremendous comfort.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
in this moment on Earth too, even more so. As the Earth sort of
Oh,
speeds
yeah.
up and it's a little bit more, people just start following you. It's gonna be interesting down the street. Interesting. You have a unique specialty working with children and inner child healing, which I really admire because I myself started there. I think in my work too, help healing
Mhm.
my inner child. It just so happened when I started my work, I was healing my inner child, so it
Yeah.
became the epicenter for my work too, at least
Yeah.
the beginning. What drew you to focus on that particular aspect of spiritual work, though?
It felt more like a natural, organic emergence.
Mm,
It felt like my own experiences of what I went through as a child, having these incredible gifts, having this ability to connect with the divine and in the spirit realm, but not having anyone around me to know how to recognize or nurture that. It made
yeah.
such a profound impact. And what dovetailed beautifully into that, or felt really parallel, was that I just always had this very easy way of connecting with children and
Mm,
really babies as well. And
mm,
it just felt very, very natural. And I just gravitated towards that because it was something I just naturally loved. And
hmm
so that's what led me into working with children.
mm. That's
Hmm.
wonderful. I speak fluent children too. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I do. I always have. I was always the uncle. The kids are like, "Hey, Uncle Chris."
Hmm.
I just there's something in me that knows how. Now, can you explain what you mean by soul readings for children? Um, what kind of
Hmm.
information comes through in a soul reading?
Ooh, great question. Oh gosh, a lot of different things. So how I would explain what a soul reading is every child's soul has a love story to tell.
Hmm.
And they don't always have the spoken words to be able to communicate that to their parents or to anyone else around them.
Hmm.
And so it often gets communicated through the little quirks and the little things that might feel irritating to someone.
Looks like we lost her. That's a bummer. Oh man, she's back.
Oh,
Oh, it's gonna be one of those nights. We do the shuffle. We're still live. So you were saying,
perfect.
I think the last word you says it was irritating. It's irritating.
So
That's
if
funny.
if some parents are just curious about what as what has actually been going on with their child, that's where soul reading can actually be really helpful. So what I
Mm.
was saying, because I don't know where I got cut off, but if,
Okay, yeah. Just it was. I know something about irritating was like I couldn't even where you're going, but you're saying something was irritating about it can be irritating, and I think that was what it is. I mean, you might have been referring to just not being able to communicate the message or
yeah,
be
yeah,
understood.
right. And so a lot of kids don't know how to um, be able to communicate that verbally. They don't have the spoken language, or if
Yeah.
they're old enough and they have words, they may not be able to find the right words or
Mm,
understand what they're actually really feeling in their body. And so that's where soul reading can actually come in. And I'm often known as a baby child soul whisperer, and can come in and just really help bridge that gap of communication and consciousness between parents and their children to help them understand, this is really what's going on. This is how your child's feeling, and this is what they actually really need to flourish here on earth.
mm,
So anything from soul contracts and dynamics they have with their moms to um, this is how I'm feeling about this thing that's going on in my life, to, hey, this is the food I need to eat. It's really up to that child's higher self and what they're really wanting to share. It's not like there's a set of questions that always get asked. There's a
mhm.
space that's held. And for a lot of children, if they're not feeling heard or held, that's their chance to really be able to say, here's someone that can be a mediator and help be a bridge to help my mom or my dad understand me a little bit more. And so that's kind of their platform, their stage to say, oh my gosh, tell them this, tell them this, tell them this.
Yeah. So communication,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I'm sure they're aware. You've
Yeah.
you've mentioned new earth souls. Can you explain what you mean by that term? And what these children, these new earth souls, how they differ from previous generations?
Yeah, so new earth souls are essentially what it sounds like, the souls that are here to have a new frequency and help us birth a new frequency, a new way of being. They're the kids that don't want to conform to the old structures that are in place. So typically most children that are born in the 21st century would be considered a new earth soul because they're carrying very different light codes and information. And so they want to be able to stream that through and be able to share that with those around them. So their gifts and abilities can be anything that we could actually even imagine, and then even things that we couldn't even imagine. So anything from being incredibly gifted at artistry to being a psychic medium to moving objects with their mind to having other superhuman abilities. They're holding lots of new templates for what the new human is actually really capable of, but that we haven't really given that space to actually activate in their DNA.
Okay, space as in just conscious space, like allowing for it to be possible. Because I don't know,
That's right.
I mean, I had very unique childhood where I was raised with tarot cards and dad talking about manifesting reality and mom talking about past lives. So it's like I think that they'll probably be blessed with parents that somehow have the awareness, if not the ability, right? Yeah.
Yeah, not always.
Yeah, sure. Some learn by not. It's I think it's
Right.
the personality of the child that which it prefers as far as the
That's
way to.
right.
Yeah, the
Right.
human design has something called the ravens that apparently come next year. And similar kind of thoughts exactly. One interesting point to them is that they're divided. They're basically in groups of 5 versus groups of 2 or something. Very interesting. They're numerological. And astrology predicts that everything's higher vibration as well from this point forward. That for the first time in 26,000 years, we are, expanding the frequency. So there's more consciousness to step into. Apparently, Do you feel that adults who are ready will kind of move also on that line, maybe inspired by the children, watching them and learning from them?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Cool. We love that. You describe these children as holding a golden grid of light. That's interesting too. By natural design, what exactly is this golden grid of light, and what is it used for?
Yeah. So it's like this web or streaming of light energy that's just kind of here around the earth and around the collective consciousness, and its purpose is to help usher in the golden age,
Okay.
the new earth that we're talking about, with a higher stream of consciousness. This is a field of love that is really wanting to be embodied more fully and anchored more into the earth realm. And how it helps the kids is it is also like a neural network for telepathic communication among them.
Wow. Okay.
As
That's what I
well.
thought.
Yeah. And so it literally is kind of like a slip and slide
What?
where the purpose of the grid is also to help their telepathic communication really circulate around, and those who are able to tap into it be able to tap into it. But it also really exists for exactly the purpose of bringing their higher dimensional awareness and their gifts onto the earth plane.
Yeah, they're
So
piping in. It's
like
like
a bridge.
we're getting like broadband or heaven broadband. So it's
Yeah.
coming in. They have to bring it in.
Yeah.
Much like
Yeah, and
Starlink, like, yeah.
that's right, and it mirrors their neural network
Oh, wow.
as well.
Right. So
So
is that going to give us problems as old fogies at the time? Yeah.
no, we want that,
Yeah.
right?
You
We
do. Who
want
doesn't want it?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want that
Yeah. I
around the
imagine it benefit
earth.
everyone. Well, it benefit everyone
Mhm.
as long as you don't. From what I've learned, just from what I've done since the last 12 years. Neptune entered into Pisces 12 years ago, which theoretically, an astrological point of view, would say, "Hey, we're pumping up the broadband and bringing pure spiritual energy onto the Earth for the first time since the Civil War." Civil War was
That's
the
right.
last time we did it. It's that the
Mhm.
cycle of Neptune. And so I have to say that the entire time that it's been in Neptune's been in Pisces, I have continued to just continually grow with it, and I'm
Mhm.
amazed just to see abilities go farther, sharper, better, and clear out also wounds. I imagine these children will come unwounded. Is that going to be the case too? I wonder, we've all come with a package of wounds. Are they coming with some healing, or are they actually ready to rock?
I've seen a mixture.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a mixture. Yeah, I don't really, and this is just my own personal opinion and what I've seen and just what um Mother Mary has been talking about is I feel like every soul's ready at when we take that first breath. We're ready to be shining our light, but it's the world and the programming that's like, and that's really wanting to try to cover that up. So
Mm,
yes, they have less wounding or less karmic inheritance to
mm,
work through. They have clearer, greater, deeper connection to source.
mm,
There's not a lot of overlay with that, which is great because then that means, as soon as they are here on the earth plane, they're really anchoring in and discovering, okay, who am I in this space?
mhm. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
And I feel like this is how we've always upgraded Earth from the beginning. We just light workers of any kind, just depending on the bandwidth. Where you and I are, I guess, lower bandwidth. Like we just jump down when we're supposed to, and we hold the space. We download the stuff, and then the next jump down. And it's an interesting way of building Earth from the inside out. It's fascinating. What does Mother Mary say that these new children need to most, like to thrive? Like, what do they need? How can we support them in these intense times we're living in, for instance?
Hmm. So, gosh, this is such a great question. I mean, this could be a whole interview topic in and of itself, but the things that I perpetually see coming through, that's the same common theme for a lot of the kids. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, like what she's been talking about is a clear connection to their true self in their physical body,
Wow.
a clear connection to nature
Mm.
and the divine, and a healthy connection to their caregivers,
Mm.
their
Wow.
mom, their dad. When these foundations are in place,
Mm.
they have access to the love that will guide them through everything.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
amazing.
not to say that they don't need more than that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just giving like foundational pieces because that's what's often overlooked in early childhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And
Mhm.
you had said also that what these children need is what we all need. Can you unpack that idea for us, and how they're showing us as a template for, like, how to do it now on Earth?
Yeah. Well, they're brilliantly designed to tell us and show us, okay, what's working, what isn't. For instance, the educational system.
Mm,
For instance, the way people have been birthed onto this human realm.
mm,
Um, they are here showing us what works and what doesn't work. And those foundational pieces that I just shared,
mhm,
the connection to body, connection to
mm,
true self
mhm,
in the physical body, connection to nature, connection to the divine, connection to um, people around us in a very healthy, well boundaried way. That is a template for the new human. That's
mm,
what we all need to thrive.
mhm.
And it's so easy to overcomplicate it and think and throw the whole kitchen sink at, okay, my child needs this, 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 and that. And to really take a step back and look at, oh, simplicity is what's best here, right?
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
and looking at where can we make things more simple and pare it back and get back to the true core element of what we all need as humans, which is connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Connection, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what these kids are actually really showing us.
Mm.
Connection. And not connection to artificial false world.
Yeah.
Connection to what is real and true. What is holding the template of source consciousness and what is divine.
Yeah, actually connecting to God.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Well, and I see how we veered off course. I think humans were on that path at one point, authentically, and we were misled by people who had bad intentions. What happens when these sensitive, gifted children don't receive the support or nourishment they need? You mentioned some of them won't be born in the right families or have the families that understand, for instance. What are signs that parents right now, or people who will be expecting soon, my grandkids maybe, what are the signs parents, caregivers should look for?
So if a kid isn't doing well at school, that's a really great sign.
Oh, okay.
And what I mean by not doing well at school is if the environment doesn't seem like it's really actually meeting their needs. It's not because there's anything wrong with them.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. What's wrong with our school system?
Right. Exactly. It's because the quality of their consciousness isn't meant to be conforming to what a traditional educational or mainstream environment is providing. That's a really great way. And then also looking at other things that people might label as behavior, or other labels of the alphabet soup that get thrown at kids, by diagnoses and things like that. Those are all really great, kind of like big flashing lights that say, wait a second.
Right.
Let me take a step back here, and maybe my child's soul actually is trying to tell me something else. And maybe this experience that they're having is really them trying to tell me, hey, my biology and my light and how I'm choosing to be in my body isn't being accepted by society right now.
Yeah, interesting. I think, and I'm surprised too when I look at that. For instance, it's going to be the millennials that have these children mostly, right? And these would be technically, I think, in demographics, these would be the alpha generation. So they're calling it as far as science slash population control. And so I think it's interesting to see that a lot of millennials seem to be really open to this stuff. Like I think they'll be excited to have a kid like this. That's what I'm saying. They seem to be just a cool generation that is into it. Maybe doesn't know what to do, but certainly it's going to be, I think, excited. And certainly society has steered us away from any of this. I mean, officially religion doesn't exist and secular state and all this other stuff. So it's like school itself is not the place for
it. It isn't.
Yeah.
And to also kind of loop around to what you were just saying about some of the older generations, like the millennials are the ones that are going to be having these children and things like that. We also need to be really full of care about not making it trendy.
Oh, well, good night. I was kidding. No, yeah, because it just, well, you think that marketing, I don't know. I'm interested to see if marketing wraps around them or not, because I've never seen anything that God has done. I mean, I've never seen like a divine thing. We haven't had Jesus in our lifetime. We haven't had like any real spiritual shows put on. And so I have never seen the media and how they react to something authentically spiritual yet. It's like they're kind of playing along. I just am very curious how they're going to react. You think they might sensationalize it?
There's a possibility of that, yes. And then that being a psychological operation in and of itself. And then parents, oh, this is, my child's doing this. Let me post about it. Right. And then it becomes, unfortunately, a standard. Then when someone else's child isn't doing that, then, is there something wrong with my child? So that's what I mean about, trendy in the parenting community.
Mm-hmm.
These kids don't want anything like that placed upon them at all. They're
Mm-hmm.
like, no, I'm pure source light. I'm pure source energy.
Yeah.
This is not a trend. This
Mm.
is the truth. Very, very big difference.
I would imagine just being in front of the child, though, would be quite grounding, to like the reporter or whatever, like when they do attempt it, it's probably, so when you have that kind of authenticity, it's hard for you to be fake, right? Like in front of it. It's even harder to fake stuff. Can you explain the connection between our nervous system and our ability to be present? What's happening psychologically when we're stuck in an overwhelmed situation or stuck in a rabbit hole in our head?
Mm, so good. So overwhelm is really interesting because I'm going to start with overwhelm. So I'm going to like kind of work my way backwards in the question that you asked me.
Okay.
Overwhelm is often a collection of sensations and emotions and other things that are happening within our nervous system and within our body that we haven't had the opportunity to actually really be present with. So it can sometimes feel like a backlog, kind of like a lot of logs and backing up a river where there's just so much energetic congestion that actually pushes us out of our body, and it can actually create the fight or flight response. That's what often happens with overwhelm. Overwhelm can also come in from living in a world where there's so much distraction and so much constantly vying for our attention
Mm-hmm.
that our nervous systems are not meant to continually be taking that amount of information in. So what ends up happening is we're not often accustomed to knowing when we've reached a limit of this is my cup is full.
Yeah.
Because we're often conditioned to override everything.
Yes.
And so that takes us completely out of the present moment. So there's a lot of different things that can be happening for overwhelm, but those are two of the things that I'm feeling called to talk about most in this moment. Present moment awareness is so important because that's where our power and creation is.
Mm-hmm.
That's where our consciousness is with us. And then
Mm-hmm.
we have that capacity and capability, or choice rather,
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that our consciousness isn't being captured by something else.
Yeah, I mean, I think even when we're on our phones, it's a distraction just enough to be captured by something else. Who knows? And there certainly seem to be more and more fourth dimensional entities feeding on us. Or at least that people are aware of now. It's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why present moment awareness is so incredibly important, because it is literally the creation point for literally the next few seconds you're birthing in your human experience. Like, it's literally a concentration and focus of power. It gives you all the information that you need to know, and why it's so important for mothers especially is because present moment awareness gives you access to a pause in your nervous system, so that you know how you want to show up and be present and respond when your child's having an experience.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Being conscious of it and grabbing it.
Right. But present moment awareness also only happens when we're willing to be in our body.
And face our feelings.
That's right.
Yeah, I think to me, I've learned that being grounded is being comfortable with my feelings.
Yeah.
It's like, it was thought so esoteric before, but no. Yeah, we really have been talked into being in a nervous state all the time. Our narratives on television, all of it is being talked into disassociating from ourselves all the time. And we've gotten used to doing that all the time.
Well, something else is looping in here about overwhelm, because you just sparked off a remembrance in my own awareness from something Mother Mary was saying earlier about overwhelm today when I was thinking about our time together this evening. Overwhelm itself is a physiological response when our consciousness has been captured by the matrix in a really interesting way. Okay. And overwhelm is a physiological response when there are certain neural networks in our brain that have well-worn grooves and habits, right? And unfortunately, overwhelm has become a habit, in like a kind of a survival mode that is easy to just keep going in that well-worn groove in your nervous system. It's kind of like a snowshoeing analogy is coming to me. Like when you first break trail, it's like it's really hard and your feet are like really breaking trail, but the people behind you are just like, oh yeah, this is really easy. I'm just kind of going in the path of this person. Overwhelm has this really interesting way of carving a path in our nervous systems at a really young age that then lays the track for the habit to just go there, because that can in and of itself be a survival strategy and a coping mechanism when things feel really overwhelming and we don't know how to process them.
Yeah, we have no coping skills in our culture.
Right.
And at the same time, I think we are all awakening. I mean, I think the earth is awakening, so kind of a bit of a slumber herself. And so, everything is more sensitive on top of the overwhelm, right? It's almost like it's almost like when it's so loud, you just hear ringing in your ears. It's just too much information is coming at you. Yeah. And it seems like the human drama is overwhelmed too. It's like every dimension that could be overwhelmed is overwhelmed. You know what I mean? The oceans are polluted, like, everything.
Or like overwhelmed by overwhelm.
Totally. Yeah.
I was talking about this with a mom the other day. She's like, I think I'm overwhelmed just by being overwhelmed.
Totally.
Like,
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah. But also to some degree too, I think for humans, at least my clients, it's like learning how to what we focus on. It's teaching me. It's like you can sit there and disassociate with it in a healing, calm way, and let it just bounce off you. You have that power. It seems like for it not to overwhelm you. So in a way, it's making us stronger in some ways. This moment.
Right.
Yeah.
And it requires us to be in our bodies in order to do that, to really track the sensation of, does this actually feel really nourishing to my system right now? Or is it taking me further away from myself?
Taco Bell. He's what he's talking about. Taco Bell. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, how does decision making get, when people are overwhelmed? I would imagine decisions are poor, at large. Like we're not, I mean, for me, I think that's what a whole red flag event is. It's like if a culture is really freaked out, they're going to go ahead and make really maybe foolish, quick decisions about things because they're just overwhelmed from the drama and they're overwhelmed from the situation. And so it seems like that as a culture, as a species, because we're overwhelmed, maybe we're not making the best choices.
So what happens when a brain is trying to make a decision, like big life decisions from overwhelm, is it is much harder to make a decision from that place, regardless if we have any judgment about if it's right or wrong. It's very hard to make a decision when we're disconnected from our true sense of self.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what overwhelm does. And so overwhelm, because if we're wanting to consider it a coping mechanism, a survival mode in our brain, just look at the choices that the bulk of humanity has made at moments when they are feeling very disconnected from themselves and where their consciousness has been captured or illuminated by something that might not really be their truth. It's very hard to make decisions when we're not connected to our sense of self.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's, yeah. And unfortunately, because we also live in a world that puts a lot of pressure on time, there's often a panic and an urgency within that just compounds the overwhelm.
Yeah.
And then a nervous system that's overwhelmed, and then you compound that with compression and pressure. It's really hard.
And
so
that
people,
creates,
right. So people either don't make a decision because it's like, or people make a very quick decision because they're trying to get out of the overwhelm, right? Or they feel pressure from something external or also internal. And again, it's really hard when we're not feeling grounded, present, and connected to our true self to make the decision that feels right. Because bottom line, so all that to say, it's really interesting to see what happens when we make decisions from a wounded place versus a healthy, whole, healed place. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's a great moment to rest on. We're going to take a quick commercial. When we come back, we're going to dive deeper into these topics and more. Hope you're not overwhelmed.
This Scorpio season, embark on a journey of self-discovery. Create your soul manifesto. Unveil your purpose. Live your truth. Welcome to 40 Days of My Truth and Purpose. Enrolling now, only at Sirius Joy Academy.
Hi, I'm Gwen English. I'm an artist, astrologer, teacher, and lifelong practitioner of the intuitive arts. Join me during 40 Days of Truth and Purpose on a creative adventure with the Heartspeak Oracle, a creative path to self-love. Heartspeak Oracle is a guided creative course designed to help you connect with your higher self, inner wisdom, and divine guidance. As a companion to Christopher Witecki's 40 Days of Truth and Purpose, this journey invites you to create your own intuitive oracle deck. No art experience required. If you can cut, glue, and open your heart, you're ready to listen and let your heart speak, connecting you to your divine truth and purpose. Join me this Scorpio season as we dive deep into the magic of truth and purpose with the Heartspeak Oracle. I look forward to seeing you.
I help people to kind of get in touch with their gut, which some people believe is your first brain now, right?
Right.
And what the coolest part about what I do is that it's not like I sell anybody on anything. Like, people come to me because they know that they need to get to me, either for higher self work, colon hydrotherapy work, how to have like living food in your world, how to create your purpose, how to tap your intuition, how to align chakras, systemic like energy moving through the body. I take care of people to help them to realign their integrity within themselves for their mind, body, and spirit. And the integrity is really the right relationship. It's not like a moral judgment or anything. It's just right relationship. And I feel like a lot of people in this world know that they're not in right relationship and aren't always sure how to get back into it.
Wow, great. Well, we're here talking about really survival patterns that human beings have been finding themselves on. And we've been talking about this new generation of children and how human beings have become overwhelmed. And It sounds like these children are going to sort of help us transition out of this path, this period we've been in. Now, interestingly enough, working with Mother Mary, what are some simple, like accessible practices that Mother Mary has recommended for helping our nervous system to remember how to slow down and find the pause? After being beaten by 5G and everything else it's getting beaten by.
Yeah. Nature.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the first thing that I'm going to say here is truly reconnecting with nature, getting barefoot, putting your hands on the trees, taking in the beauty of what's before you. There's something really incredible that happens with our nervous system when we get in nature.
Yeah.
So physiologically, your sense of sight, your perceptual lens widens.
Yeah.
Because we're not so focused like this on something.
Yeah.
So our perception widens, literally, our peripheral vision opens up, our central vision lessens, and that helps our nervous system relax, because then we're able to take in more of the beauty and more of the energy and more of the things that nature's actually really wanting to give to us.
Yeah.
And then it's also because our body recognizes nature recognizes our body, and that link up wants to naturally happen. And so when we put our feet on the ground, the earth is like, yeah, remember, I'm right here. Remember, I'm right here. I'm here to hold you. And one of the things that I talk about a lot with moms is, what is it like to actually co-parent with the earth? Having the earth and nature and all of the elements, being a part of your interaction and as a source of support, that is so vital to every human right now. Because when our well doesn't feel really full and we're really needing to feel well nourished,
Yeah.
Nature is a great resource to fill that well.
Yeah.
So,
Terrific. Yeah.
yeah.
It's a vibration. I mean, it's funny, when I was a kid, my mom would take us out in the woods and be like, man, it's boring. Wanting to go back. But back then, in the 80s, so I date myself, it wasn't as crazy the vibe as it is now. Now, when I go in the woods or go into nature, I'm just like overwhelmed, really, or underwhelmed. I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like nature absorbs all of it, like the leaves and everything, and you find yourself small, because I don't know how to describe it, but you just can feel your energy just being spreading out through the woods. You can just feel yourself like exhale, and it really is soothing. It is the first few steps. It's like you really do. It's amazing. It's almost, and just as of late, I mean, the last 5 years, anytime I get out of the city or whatever, I'm in the desert now, and I'm so much calmer in the desert. Moved from California to on top of a mountain in Denver. But then that was still pretty intense, So I'm just, and it goes to show there's a lot of visionaries that say we're going to move into clusters of communities are going to move into cluster of communities in the future. We're not going to live in cities. And if you look at like cities and grids and everything, the energy is all designed to go and then slam this way and then slam this way. So if you just look at the city streets as far as the wiring of energy, it's very chaotic and intense, like a circuit board, versus trees, in the woods and stuff. It just goes out through trees. It gets broken up by little, each tree breaks the waves. It seems very calming. You can see the architecture almost of the way, the energy. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. And there's lots of different ways to be in nature and be with like the true nature, not what also feels like it's been just kind of like artificially planted.
Right.
Just to kind of give an appearance of nature, or what some people would call like fake nature. But like true nature that's been there for a while.
Right.
That it's so necessary right now. So incredibly necessary, more than ever. That is a great place to start with overwhelm. There are many other things that one can do, but if one is feeling overwhelmed, nature is often a really great place to start because you're not having to do anything, right?
Right. Well, nature's working on you, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What are some of the easeful, simple body practices that Mother Mary has suggested, especially for people who might feel intimidated by somatic work?
Mm. Oh, that's a really good one. So nature is really great. If someone's wanting to take a walk in nature, the thing about overwhelm is that because it takes us up and out of the body and puts us in the fight or flight state,
Yeah.
when we get in nature, nature's holding us and reflecting back to us what it is to connect with source. So sometimes if someone is uncomfortable or not really familiar with being in their body or is new to somatic practices, literally just taking a walk in the woods or going to your neighborhood park
Yeah.
or stepping outside and feeling the sun on your face or the rain on the top of your head or your bare feet in a puddle or something like that
Yeah.
can actually feel okay to
Mm-hmm.
do. Those are really great first points of connection.
Or filling your house with plants.
That
You know,
works too. Yeah.
like having life in the
Mhm.
house. I remember plants. My mom had plants all over the house when I was growing up, and for that reason, because they clean the air, they clean the vibration, they make you feel, so, just feel better in the house. The house feel better. You feel that life force.
Well, and part of also what goes along with the plants and like bringing nature in like that, just even that color of green
Yeah.
is so soothing and helps us on a subconscious and unconscious level remember a connection to nature, even if we're not consciously connecting with the plants in that
Mm-hmm.
way. Another thing that's really wonderful that Mother Mary has talked about a lot is also connecting with animals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So especially if someone is not used to connecting with their own body, sometimes it can feel more safe to
Yeah.
brush a horse
Yeah.
or to plant flowers or something like that. And that slowly gets someone back in touch with their own physical space.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, pets are booming. I mean, it's like I came from Denver, Colorado. Everyone has a dog. Everyone has pets. Everyone, well, many of my viewers, maybe people who didn't remarry, things like that, but their pet, so their pet connection is so intense. As far as how important it is and the love they exchange. Versus when I was growing up, you barely let them inside. You barely let them inside. You know what I mean? Kind of Indiana is where I grew up, so in many places. It's interesting just to see, and also it seems like I don't know if it's me, but it seems like the animals are more intelligent. Like they seem to be more aware than I've ever seen them before. And I was trying to connect them when I was a kid, and it just seems like they're just much more there too. We're all together waking up and connecting to each other. That connection you talk about. So you talk about these things as anchor points, basically, like with the health to the body, nature, and this connection. Can you explain how all these work together to support the children and the adults from staying grounded? How does it all, web in? It logs into that golden internet and yeah.
So when a child, I'll use children as the example. When a child is in nature, they're able to have access to that golden grid that I was talking about because nature's already holding that. And especially in a lot of other places in the US and in the world, that feels more palpable and online and aware for kids. So when their bodies come into nature, their limbs are connecting with the land. They're able to have a sense of orientation about where they are in relation to other people. That's an anchor point of orientation for the nervous system. So then they're connecting in with their body when they do that, when they're feeling more oriented and grounded. And of course, being in nature is giving them that access to their own true nature, to be connected with the divine. So
Yeah.
it goes back to those foundational pieces about, being connected to the true self in your body, being connected to nature, being connected to the divine, and having healthy relationship with those around you. Those are really core foundational pieces. So those anchor points help connect all of that in our physical space so that we do feel the love that's here for us, and that we feel that sense of connection to the light.
In a strange way, I mean, it's like I think cell phone technology and text messages and these things, they have served as sort of like a crutch to making us aware of how we are connected, synthetically in a sense. I mean, I feel like people, they'll think of someone, they'll get a text message, and it's like, okay, ideally, we don't want to be on this electronic text message, but that whole little moment there makes them sort of aware of this connection, whereas they would not have been without the technology. So it's like, it's interesting how it works, that way.
Yeah,
It still
it
serves,
is.
the hard things still end up serving the light and what our intentions are, maybe slower.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's such a great point. And I feel like there's a balance between having so much interconnection that we also need to have balance with what is connecting with us externally as well. So I do feel like there's a balance between all of that. However, the more connected we are to ourselves, the easier it is to know, does this actually feel like true connection and nourishment? Because it is wonderful to receive a text message or a message, hey, just thinking about you. That is wonderful, especially given the way that people move about in the world. At this day and age, it is much faster to be able to do that. And you can also still feel the energy behind that text of someone
Yes.
as well, right?
Yes, you can. You really can. And it made me confirm for me that, like, when I was reading books, I was too. I had a theory when I was younger. I was like, I think I'm feeling the author. I feel the author
Yeah.
when I read these words. I feel the author. I don't know if it's coming out of the Akashic, but there's some sort of wiring that goes on there. And then text message was the same thing, because you can see you can see just a one simple line, and someone's like, "Oh, that little bastard!" Like, well, it's a simple line. It's like they're
Right.
reading the energy from the simple line. It's not, it's really fascinating.
Yeah.
How do you think healing? Because in Serious Joy, we focus on the inner child mostly, because I feel like we abandoned it, so we have to go back to it. My generation, we were forced to grow up very young, so there's always an age in my generation where you lost touch, and so you almost have to go back to that place and then start to raise that inner child again, and take over, and that gives our sovereignty. So it's all good. But how do you feel that healing the inner child as an adult affects these new earth children? I mean, do you think it's preparation and we're going to be taking it farther, or do you think we're going to come together all at once?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. A lot of it is preparation, but they're holding that grid. And the more we're able to heal ourselves back into wholeness and be a whole embodied self, and to be truly online ourselves, we're able to anchor exactly what it is that they're also doing. And so it becomes a beautiful synergy and reciprocity. So the more that anyone does any type of inner work, it ripples out into the ethers. And I honestly feel like the children, like when one heart feels that much more safe and whole and healed, there are children everywhere on this planet unconsciously, or maybe some even telepathically feeling it and like really picking up on that and saying, oh my God, yes, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. Like, thank God. So, someone else is holding more light, because boy, do we need that right now.
It's been intense.
Yeah.
You've created a water ritual with Mother Mary for nervous systems.
Yeah.
You're offering a special promotion for our Serious Story community. Thank you for that. Tell us about this ritual, what this is with Mother Mary, and how she's shown you how the water ritual can be a really powerful healing element. I'm assuming this is like bottled water in plastic containers.
Not even close.
Okay, silly me. But go ahead, tell us.
Yeah. So the water ritual is an opportunity to remember your own power of kindness and compassion and love within.
Mm.
And it's a 33-day ritual where you literally are creating as simple or as extravagant as you want a beautiful altar for your water.
Wow.
And you're creating through her healing frequencies a ritual to drink it for 33 days. You can continue on to do it for as long as you want, but the 33 days is a great place to start. And it's literally creating an elixir of grace.
Wow.
And it literally nourishes you from the inside out. And it reaches the places in your nervous system that nothing else can reach like water does.
Yes.
And she loves to work through the element of water.
Wow, that's
absolutely loves to work through the element of water because water is a superconductor of light.
Yeah.
And so she loves, knowing, okay, ooh, that altar just went up over here on this street and that person's doing it. Oh, okay, let me go sprinkle some grace in there, or let me go sprinkle this. And I know I'm bringing some levity and light to it, but that really is what it looks like to me when more and more people are activating these water altars and giving it the opportunity to really nourish them in the way that they've always wanted to love themselves from the inside out, but really weren't sure how to do that.
Yeah.
It's like all the children's hearts going, yes, 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 more light.
Yeah. It reminds me of Dr. Moto. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I feel like she celebrates too.
Oh.
Because she's like, yes, more light, more light, more light, more light. These are literally anchor points. This water ritual works with that golden grid,
right,
that the children are holding, right?
Yeah.
And when we drink in the water, we're taking it in and it's replenishing and nourishing our nervous system in such a beautiful and gentle way, which then helps us connect to nature. But the other thing that this ritual does as well, and what water is so good at, is amplifying self-compassion.
Yeah. Rinsing away the pain. Yeah.
And self-compassion is so important, especially right now. Kindness, self-compassion is not a foo-fluff idea. Is actually biological.
Yeah.
When we are being kind with ourselves and we allow ourselves to receive on whatever level it is that we're able to feel safe at taking something in, like we can take a sip of water or we can gulp it, right? There's literally a neurological, physiological process that happens in our brain chemistry. Oxytocin gets released. That's the bonding hormone. And then the centers in our brain that actually are for caregiving also light up and start to make new neural networks, so that we're literally repatterning how much we're available to be present to care for ourselves. And that's really what this world needs right now.
Yes, I agree. And we'll see how it goes. It looks like it's going to be, I feel like we're going to be amping up the signal and the powers that be seem to want to amp up the signal. So this message could not come at a better time, I feel. And I agree with the water. I was saying Dr. Emoto's work where he was, angry at
Yes.
water and sad at water, and
Yeah.
how the water would freeze. Angry.
Yeah.
That alone told me like right away. It's like maybe
Mhm.
even healing that we do on people is really that you're like healing the water. And when you microwave your food, you're actually heating up the water. So it's like
Yeah.
water seems to be the conduit of many exchanges of energy, and it seems to be the secrets, the oil, if you will, that keeps our engine running. And the communicator between everything. So I see it all. And is it ironic that we have a shortage of water, and Pepsi owns all the water rights, and just it's funny, right?
Mhm.
It's just too good to be true.
Well, water is life.
Yeah. Well, 90%
Yeah.
of it, or whatever. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Well,
Of the
and
body, everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's the other reason why having a conscious relationship with water and then being able to drink it in that way, and Mother Mary really being able to hold the space for that is so healing for all of us right now. And she's there to help us, birth ourselves into who we really are.
Actually, speaking of her, as we wrap up, what's the one message Mother Mary most wants people to hear today, take away from our conversation, especially those who are feeling maybe overwhelmed and on the edge themselves?
Mm. Mm. Well, there's actually 2 messages.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. The first is to know that you actually have the choice to opt out of urgency and overwhelm and
Wow.
busyness.
Hmm.
You have the opportunity to opt out of that. That is cultural programming,
Right.
and conditioning. And what happens if you have the courage to be able to no longer allow urgency and a sense of overwhelm and panic to flow over and create your decisions,
Yes.
but instead, be willing to take a step back and explore something different. Like, what happens if I just take a pause and I'm able to be really present? And then what dovetails beautifully into this, I also hear her saying that the era of trying to conform or fit in or mold ourselves to be accepted is absolutely over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Control. Yeah, control over free will, really. I mean, the big picture of things. Yeah. And I hear what she's saying too in regard to the alarm. I mean, if you have for me, it comes like with fire engines and stuff going down the street. I used to live on a street that had a lot of fire engines, and I had to literally just practice not letting it get to me.
Mm-hmm.
The fire engine, just the loudness, and like just trying to rile you up, and society is always trying to rile you up. And before we go to commercial, let's rile them up. And so you can. Of course, I agree with Mother Mary, but it's like I have witnessed for myself that you can completely, magically detach from it and not let it, not go along with that plot, that story, that anxiety that, the sky's not falling.
Yes. And there's also a way to opt out where your nervous system doesn't have to be in that well-worn groove and habit with it either.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because to opt out of, I don't want this running my life anymore.
Yeah.
This isn't who I am. This is a trauma response. And I'm going to have the courage to look at this and heal it.
And I have the power to.
That's right. Absolutely.
I think medicine has made us think that we don't, but we do.
Well, and I think that's the piece she's really talking about here around the conformity and shaping ourselves to fit in, or to be accepted. I often call this origami, where we can be so good at folding ourselves very delicately or very abruptly into shapes and things that we're actually not. And think about like the art of origami, how much it takes to actually create those intricate shapes, like how everything is like really creased. And then what it's like to pick one of those up and then look at it and then even explore what it's like to take it apart, like to unfold it. That doesn't happen in just like one thing, right? So, and then you look at those well-worn creases, those are those creases in our neural networks that I was talking about, those well-worn ruts and habits and patterns where it's like, oh, wait, actually, no, I can iron out those creases a bit. Is it easy? No. But there is ease and grace in doing that when you have support along the way.
Yeah. Which is like why Gandhi loomed all the time. How can we find you? How can our viewers find you to work with you?
So my website is probably the best way for someone to explore, and that is embodied-brilliance.com, or they can simply go to my name, which is AlisonElsberry.com, and Alison has one L, and so does my last name. You can explore the website there, and you'll see a little connect tab over on the right-hand corner, and you can send me a message. I love, hearing from people and hear how things have landed. And if someone is really feeling, I'd really love to learn more about how you can support myself and my children or just my inner child, I'd love to speak with you.
Well, I think you're a wonderful resource, and bless you for taking this role on this lifetime. I think you've just begun.
Yes.
You've just begun. I feel like, I'd love to have you back because I'm sure things will be great late next year. And, perhaps, I'd love to hear what you and Mary have to say or remind us in that time. So, I guess we'll just wait for our cues and we'll reach out to you.
Well, yeah, because what's coming through right now is a whole transmission on water in nature right now that I'm honestly still embodying and unpacking within my own system. And it just keeps pouring through. And those that are on my email list, and especially those that sign up for the water ritual with Mother Mary, you'll be some of the first to know about when I'm going to be releasing this transmission that she's bringing through on water and nature. It's blowing my mind. Yeah,
I believe
literally some of my neural circuits are like poof, poof, poof.
Wow. Well, because they're caught in the old water.
Whatever.
The old surgery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Blessings to you and your water, and the water in your body. And thank you so much for giving us your time today and your grace, and same to Mary. We look forward to having you again. And thank you. And I'm not sure what happened. I mean, you know what? Overwhelm was what's happening to our camera when we were trying to go on the air. That's what it was. Yes. That was maybe an example of overwhelm.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Just so much, so much light coming through. And that is also interesting. Something that an interesting phenomenon that can happen in our bodies as they're receiving more light is that can feel overwhelming in and of itself too, because then it's pushing out what isn't light.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Which is why, why yoga came to be. It was to prepare the body for the ascension process and that light being coming into the body. So it's pretty amazing. We're coming full circle. Well, thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you backstage after this is over. And
thank you.
Mary said, thank you.
I will.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, our plan. Well, that was very calm, and I think that entire broadcast from Mary was to underwhelm, the overwhelm, like to pull it out, because I felt calm the entire time. It's interesting. We're going to see you next week, both on Namaste Today and Astro Mingle. You guys have a great week. Try to stay calm and balanced with the energy of Scorpio. You have more power than usual to do this, and your commandments and boundaries shall be. Until next week, I love you. Live, love, be.
Coming up next week on Serious Joy TV. Join Sensei Christopher Witecki and psychic medium Scott Cruz for another Leading Out Loud this Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Be fearless and free this Halloween as you allow your own masks to come off. Then join us for Astro Mingle for a special Halloween episode. It's a spooktacular surprise awaiting you on the other side of the veil. Stay tuned for the haunting reveal, only on Sirius